Welcome back everyone to our custom career mode and career experience. In our last video, we joined the NASCAR Cup Series and became a team owner in the Asphalt Super Late Model Series. Now we did get to run our very first NASCAR Cup race, but we didn't get to run any races with the Asphalt Super Late Models, so we're going to fix that problem today by running a few races with them, or at least simulating a few races with them. But before we get to that, let's take a quick look over here on Series 1, which is our NASCAR Cup Series, and input our information from Las Vegas. Now, Las Vegas was a very fun race. Our qualifying position, well, we were dead last. So we're going to go ahead and put 30th there. Now, our finish was 15th. However, because of our relative performance, well, that means we finished dead last because 15 and 25 are going to give us a 40th place finish. So in order to not finish last for monetary purposes, because that's really what this is influencing here, is our race purse amount. In order not to do that, we obviously need to finish inside the top 15. So 14th or better, that's our goal, at least until we can do a little work on that relative performance. But right now we're focused on getting things up and running with our super late model team. So we've got our 40th place finish in there. Race purse amount fills in. We have our sponsor, which is a very nice sponsorship to get us going. And then as we scroll across, you can see that our marketing amount fills in quite nicely. I'm going to go ahead and do a copy paste on this so that instead of having, there we go, the actual formula in there, we get to keep the amount. And as we talked about last time, the reason that I want to do that is because our marketing level is not at the maximum level for the Cup Series. The maximum level is 15 for Cup, which is the maximum level also overall. So as we increase that, I want to make sure that we don't go back in time and update some of these from the past. So I'm going to try to remember to do that. However, I make no promises that I won't forget. Now, we don't have any driver salary, and this time we don't have to worry about any damage because we didn't have any contact at all with other cars. Now, I was really working hard. As loose as that car was, it was a chore to try to keep it off of the other cars, but we managed to keep it in one piece and going the right direction. Now, I mentioned to you at the end of that race that I was going to take a look at the tire information, the wear, the temperatures, that kind of thing, and see about any possible adjustments to maybe tighten it up a little bit, maybe make it a little bit more secure. And sure enough, we were wearing the right rear tire a little bit more than the right front by about 5% or so. I forget exactly what the temperature data was at the time, but I tightened it up a little bit, added a little bit of cross weight into it, and that's what we're going to start with at Michigan, which is going to be race number 2. But here you can see that we have our total expenses, total income, and overall we netted $22,000, which is a nice profit. But keep in mind, if we'd had really any damage at all, this would have turned into a loss instead of a profit. So we really need to get our marketing level increased in the long term so that we can make a lot more money, and that is going to give us more money to expand into more series. So with that taken care of, we'll scroll back over real quick because I have filled in the first few events that we're going to be running. So the first 4 events are all going to be standard events. These are learning opportunities for us. I'm going to take what I learned on the setup from Vegas, apply that to Michigan, and then we'll see what happens at Michigan, make some more tweaks until finally we get to our first Crown Jewel event, which will be at Charlotte. So that's what we're looking for. That's really what we're working for right here. And of course, that Crown Jewel event is going to give us an opportunity to make a lot more money than we would normally be able to make. So now that we've taken care of the Cup Series, let's hop over to Series number 5, which is our super late model operation. You can see that I've also gotten started on at least the beginnings of a schedule here. I've put in the first 20 races, but I figure we'll go deeper than that for one particular season in the super lates. We'll probably make it somewhere around 30 or so, maybe even more than that. We'll see how things go as we move forward. But the thing to keep in mind is everything is already set up here. We already have our sponsors, we have our cars, we have everything ready to go, but we need to run some races. So just to recap, we signed 2 drivers to pilot our cars, and we had amazing luck with this. We have 2 of the top drivers in super lates and have been for quite some time, actually. So we've got Bubba Pollard and Stephen Nasse. Both of these are level 16, which is the very top level for super late model racing. So we need to generate some driver finishes. And the way we do that is right over here. So the easiest way to do this is come down to level 16, which is what our drivers are, and then simply do a copy paste of that over into the driver finish area. However, because we have 2 drivers of the same level, what I'm actually going to do is use level 16 for one and 21 for the other. 11 would work, 6 would work, 1 would work. All of these would work as they are the top level in their particular division. But I've just decided to use 16 and 21. It makes no difference, however. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh the spreadsheet by pressing F9. And there we go. So we've got a 3rd place finish and a 6th place finish. So that is awesome. That's exactly what we needed. And this was a crown jewel event at Bristol. So yeah, I'm taking that. In fact, I've already forgotten what they were. It's a good thing I hadn't refreshed the spreadsheet where we would have lost those. Lost those finishes. 3 and 6. All right, let's move back over here. So we got a 3 and a 6. So there you can see our total race purse for the event. Again, going to be higher because this was a crown jewel event at Bristol. And then we move our way across. We've got our sponsorship, which reminds me that we need a new sponsor for race number 2 on team number 1. And then as we scroll our way across, you can see we made a good bit of money on this one, except for one thing. And I'm sure most of you probably realize this. I haven't input the driver's salary yet. And again, for those of you who might not be familiar, maybe you haven't had a chance to watch the career experience videos, I put the driver's salary up here instead of in this particular cell because it can change each and every race depending on whether or not you add or take away teams. So I'm going to go ahead and do a copy paste here and make sure I do the value, and we're good to go there. Okay, now the total marketing really isn't going to be an issue on this one because we're already, as an organization, beyond the maximum marketing level for the series, so it's never going to go up, and we're certainly not going to reduce our marketing level. So we're good to go there. I can just leave it as is. But if you want to get into some good habits, then yeah, doing the copy paste like we did on the Cup Series is always a good idea. Now for chassis damage, because both of our drivers who are championship contenders finished in great positions, there's no need to do anything here with damage. Now, at some point it's going to happen. In fact, we're about to run our 2nd race right now, so who knows when we're going to get that first hit. But to summarize, we made a very nice profit here, $137,000. But remember, that was from a crown jewel event. So we made a lot more money with some great finishes. So now let's scroll back down. I'm going to once again refresh with F9 and we get 5 and 7. Oh, luck is on our side right now. 5 and 7. All right, there we go. So 5 and 7, and immediately you can see the difference. So sure, the finishes aren't quite as good as we had at Bristol, but the difference between a standard event and a crown jewel event on your race purse is huge. So that will give you an idea of just how hard it is to be consistently profitable, especially if you start mixing in some bad finishes here. All right, but the other thing we need to do is we need to pick up a new sponsor. We only had a 1-race deal with PlayStation. Now, we're good to go here. Crocs they've loaded us up for 10 races with a nice sponsorship deal, so we don't have to worry about that one. But we do need a new sponsor deal for Team 1. So I'm going to hit the button, and let's see what we get. Okay. I like it. So we got 17 grand, not great. 25 grand, also not great. But the last 2 deals are not bad at all. We're going to go ahead and take Hobby Lobby because it's the most money, and it's also a long-term deal. 16 races is very, Nice. Now the maximum deal, in case you're wondering, is 20 races, regardless of your marketing level. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this in here. We're going to do a copy paste and we're all set. All right, now we have our marketing deal in place. Let's scroll across and get our final numbers. Once again, I'm going to drop this driver's salary in here. Now at some point in the hopefully not too distant future, this is going to be going up because we're going to be adding a third team. All right, so we come home with a very nice profit of 52 grand. So the idea of the career experience is that you can generate, as long as your marketing level is on par, you can generate some nice profit, and that gives you the ability and the finances to continue expanding. Okay, so everything looks good. Now, what are we working toward? Well, we're working toward a 3-car team, which is going to take not only the amount of money to upgrade to level 4, which is $577,000, but we're also going to have to purchase a chassis. So we're looking at over $700,000. That is what we're going to need to expand. Okay, not too bad. And remember, we're also going to have another adjustment coming up after probably around 10 races or so, assuming I don't forget. But for now, let's go ahead and get a couple more races. I'm trying to see if we're going to get some bad finishes so that I can show you guys what it looks like in the way I like to use the chassis damage. So let's go ahead and do 5 flags, which is a special event. So the race purse here, going to be a little bit higher than a standard event, but definitely not anywhere close to the crown jewel. So I'm going to hop back over to our driver finish generation. Remember, we're using 16 and 21 right now, but again, you could use 1, 6, 11, 16, 21, or 26. They're all generated the same way, as they are the top level for their particular division. All right, so level 16 and 21, once again, F9 to refresh, and we get 10 and 7. We are having tremendous luck here. I must say, I usually don't have this good of luck. By now, I would have generated at least one finish that is not so good. So with that in mind, let's keep going, and then we'll deal with our expenses and so forth here in just a moment. But for now, let's go one more race. So once again, refresh. There we go, 19 and 21. So not great finishes there for either car. So these are not terrible finishes, and normally I probably wouldn't even worry about the chassis damage, but here, just so that I can show you guys exactly how it works, we're going to go ahead and do it. So first thing we need to do is drop our driver's salary in here. All right, now the chassis damage, I want to show you guys how this works. Now we have 2 teams, and the way I like to use it is if either of our drivers has a finish that I deem is outside their norm. You can think of it as standard deviations, however you want to look at it. But by the eyeball test, I look at it, and 21st is outside the norm. Anything outside the top 20 or so is going to be outside the norm. I expect a lot of top 10 finishes, top 12, 13 finishes, that type of thing from a top tier driver. So 21st is outside that. So we're going to assume that we had some damage because of that, and that's why we finished that far back. We got into some contact. It hurt the car. You get the idea. So there's a lot of ways to use the chassis damage. This is how I like to use it. So we had damage there. So I've got a couple of options in how I do this. I could, number one, say, well, 21st isn't all that bad. So he probably just had 25% damage, just the minimum amount of additional damage. Or I could say, well, since it triggered chassis damage, I can use the random generation, which is right over here. He is team 2, so I would use this number, which in this case is 25%. So either way, we're okay. Now, team 1, we're just fine because I was using the top 20 as sort of my break even on whether or not to use the chassis damage. So we'll only do it on one team, but everything looks good. Now, it cost us 15 grand for that. So it certainly hurt our profitability. We're down to 33 grand for that particular event, but we still made money. That is the main thing. But you can see that had that damage been more severe, or if we had multiple cars have damage, then we could have very easily been fighting to break even, and entirely possible we could have had a loss. So that takes care of the Super Lates right now. We have done a few races here to give you an idea of exactly how that works when you're generating race finishes. I'm going to do a quick save at the top of the screen, and then we're going to move back over to the home screen and see how much money we've got. So maybe we can do some updates. So we've got 1.1 million right now. We're obviously a good ways away from the 2.2 that we're going to need to do our next marketing update and upgrade, but maybe we can do a little bit more. So we've got a choice here. Marketing is by far the most important thing to me, other than expanding our team. All right, I really want to expand our team and have a 4-car operation in the super late models. I love being an owner. I love the simulation of that. So that's where I want to go. And then, hey, down the line, we'll hop back over to the Cup Series. But for right now, I'm having fun being a team owner. So here we go. We've got enough money. So let's make sure we got the right amount. We've got 1.15 million. So we've got to be careful about how much we spend. But I do believe, if my memory is good, we've got enough to do this expansion. So let's go ahead and expand to a 3-car team. Same thing here. We only need the one chassis, since the super lates are on short tracks. So we'll go ahead and take care of that. We've invested some more money. We need to sign a driver. But before we do that, I'm going to hop back over. Yeah, we still got 400 grand. We're cutting it a little close in case we have damage in our next Cup race or in the next super late model races. But hey, we're going to ride the ragged edge a little bit here every once in a while. So we still got 414 grand. So if we come back over, we now have a spot for driver number 3. I told you guys that the driver salary amount was going to be changing, that we saw right here. And sure enough, it is. So let's go get a driver. Now remember, as I mentioned last time, we could go to the drivers for hire. We could find a driver here for the super late models and sign them manually. But we're going to come back over to the home page like we did last time. And we're going to refresh here, and we're going to see who we get. So once again, I'm going to refresh with F9. And we got, another good one. Carson Quapple, who is a level 17. So he's a tier 2 for this particular series, is the way that checks out. So I'm going to go ahead and do a copy paste for him. Put him in number 3. And again, I'm going to paste values. And you can see how that adjusts our driver salary. So the next time we simulate some races, not only will we be looking at 16 and 21, we'll be looking at 16 and 17 and 21. All right, excellent. So I got to spend some more money. I got to have a 3-car team in the super lates. I'm a happy man. So now we need to talk a little bit about Michigan. So once again, we're looking for a strong run. I took the setup from Vegas, tried to steady it a little bit, but remember, I'm really trying to stay away from getting the car too tight on the long runs. We're going to keep these races short so that we have a shot against the AI on what we'll call a longer run. But there's a lot of work to do. We're only in race number 2. I made some adjustments, and let's see how it goes. Welcome everyone to Michigan Speedway. And unfortunately, we are here on pit road facing the wrong direction. In my opinion, I'd rather be out on the front stretch facing toward those wonderful crowds that have packed the grandstands to watch us race today. And we thank everyone for showing up, whether you are joining in from home or you're here at the track with us. Looks like a great day for some racing. A few clouds in the sky, but those are the white puffy clouds, not those dark storm clouds which are outside my house right now. So if you hear any additional noises, it'll probably be some thunder and hard rain coming from just outside where I'm recording right now. So these guys are trying to run away from us. Apparently they're scared of our speed today here at Michigan. But don't worry, we'll catch up before we get to the green flag. I found out very quickly when I started practicing here at Michigan that this is just an entirely different beast. Now, one valid way of setting up the car here at Michigan is to trim it out quite a bit, which means to try to get the back end down and use more of a Daytona Talladega mindset when setting up the car. But I didn't want to go that direction because right now I'm trying to build a notebook in what works and what doesn't when setting up these cars. So I decided to stick with our Vegas setup as a baseline and then make some tweaks from there. Who knows, maybe in the future I will approach the more trimmed out setup, but not for now. Our AI skill spread, 80 to 110. And I had to lower it quite a bit, and that might not have been enough. Because these guys were bad fast. And I mean bad fast compared to me. Of course, part of that is because I didn't trim out.
Outside.
Oh boy, here we go. I do not want to lose momentum, so I'm going to try to keep my foot in it here, but we're 3 and 4 wide, as I would expect. So let's see how this works out. Owl got a little love tap there from whoever's on our inside right now.
Hold your line.
Well, we're having contact already. Whoever it is on our inside really wants some more room. Oh, never mind. That was Ricky Stenhouse. Of course he wanted me
on the bottom. Clear.
So not serious contact, so I don't think it'll be a big deal. Not enough to cause any sort of damage or change to the handling as I get really loose after saying that.
On the bottom, 3 wide.
So we'll see.
Hold your line.
I mean, that's part of racing. Sometimes you have contact where you don't want contact.
Hold your line.
All right, so we're going to stick to this bottom, even though the bottom is not where I want it to be.
Still there. Keep to the bottom.
All right, let's try to get in line behind somebody and catch this draft. The draft is huge at this place. So if we get stuck out of line, then we're going to get trained.
Stay low.
Freight train will line up to our outside. Oh, we almost had enough to clear the 11 there, but now he's going to have a huge run. And I'm going to jump in right behind him. So we got 30 laps. And the reason I decided to lower the AI skill overall as much as I did is because these guys, as I mentioned, were bad fast. They were over a second faster than me per lap.
Keep it on top.
On new tires, and I thought, there's just no way I can even keep up at that rate. I mean, some of these guys up here are making me nervous. So let's just jump in here and race with them. Why not?
3 wide, you're the lead. Hold your line.
All right, we need some drafting help here. Oh, I think we were 4 wide.
Got one inside, still there.
Oh yeah, made it work.
Stay right there, clear.
Oh, easy there, easy there. We're a little loose. But as I mentioned, right now I'm flirting with that end of it. That end of the spectrum of being loose because we've been tight so much, particularly in the trucks. On the long run, we got so tight.
Stay on the bottom.
And tight is just no fun. Because when you are tight, there's nothing you can do but just slow down to what feels like a stop mid-corner. So I'm trying to get closer to that loose side. We definitely found it at Vegas. Oh, that is loose on entry. Holy cow. I can go ahead and tell you, the car drove me into that corner. I did not drive the car through that corner. Yikes. So maybe we can't arc it in quite that much, but we'll keep at it. We'll keep trying and see. I'll see how much I can get by with arcing
Stay
it.
right there. Clear.
Yeah, this thing's rotating pretty good, but remember, we're only on lap 6. What I'm interested in is what happens around lap 15, lap 20, and so on. We're still doing, that's loose. We're only doing a 30-lap race because I really want to see if there's anything we can do with these guys on a medium to long-term run on these tires. If there's not, we'll just stick with very short races. Because if I can get this thing decently balanced and we still can't keep up with them on a long run, then there's no reason to do long runs. All right, we've managed to catch these guys. Oh, look at this. Boy, we have to
Got one
run.
outside.
Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me.
Hold your line.
Coming through,
Outside.
my
Still
good
there.
man. Coming through.
Good stop. Got
Oh,
one
easy
outside.
there.
On the
Trying to stay
bottom,
off the
3
20.
wide.
Had to get on the
Hold your
brakes.
Got one outside. Still there.
Woo! All right, let's take a breath.
Keep to the
We're
bottom.
3 wide. Because, of course, we are. It's Michigan.
Stay
And
low.
we're going to be on the bottom, not where I want to be.
Keep to the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Yep,
Stay on
could
the
not get the
bottom.
rotation I wanted there through the middle of the corner. So the 20 slides by us. I don't even know what
Outside.
position we're fighting for right now.
Still
What
there.
I do know
On the bottom, 3 wide. Outside. Still there. In the middle, 3 wide.
is this action is
Hold your line.
wild. It's a lot of fun. But
Hold
remember,
your line.
if we get involved in a lot of contact, that's going to cost us a lot of money. And in the Cup
Hold your
Series
line.
right now, we are
About
not
that.
earning a lot of profit per race.
Hold your line.
Oh yeah, that was a good corner. Good corner.
Hold your line. Inside. Still there. Clear inside.
Yep, there we go. That's what I needed. Now the 9 car definitely had a better corner than us. That's no surprise. The 9 car is bad fast. But we had a good corner there. Okay, let's take a breath here. Now that we've got a moment on the track to ourselves and see that are we in the top 10?
Keep digging.
We are in 9th. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, that is loose. Trying to stay in the gas, but because we need that momentum. But that is, wow. Okay, that was a little bit free. Trying to run a little bit higher there. The 20 looked like he was trying to get to our inside. All right, I'm going to try to stay ahead of the 20 since he should have the momentum here on the front stretch. But you can see that Chase Elliott is gone. I mean, he just passed us a lap or so ago, and he is gone.
Keep high. Clear.
All right, car's starting to get really tight on entry. That is not a good sign. So I'm going to try to back up the entry a little bit and see what we can do there.
Outside. Keep to the bottom. Clear.
Oh, this is some fun racing right now. Now, if these guys start filing by us and we just can't keep up, then it'll be a lot less fun. But for right now, we're still able to, for the most part, keep up with them.
Got one inside.
But you can see right there on the entry of turn 1, they are crushing me
Clear to the bottom.
because I am so tight there on the entry. All right, let's see if we can keep up here through 3 and 4. Yeah, we're just tight on entry. Man, really thought that we were going to be a lot better with that, especially since this setup is so close to Vegas, where we had plenty of rotation, to say the least. But as it turns out, we're fighting the same thing.
Got one inside. Keep it on top.
All right, not so fast there, 48. Oh, loose again. Yeah, a little bit loose. So tight end, loose off. I actually took some nose weight out of this thing from Vegas based on what I was seeing from the tires in practice. And that still isn't enough to help us on corner entry. So everything's about gathering information, building that notebook, seeing if I can find something.
Inside.
Oh, they're easy
Stay
48.
right there.
I'm trying to get down into the corner here. I don't appreciate you trying to pass me.
Keep it on top.
And I know this is driving him nuts because he's able to have a great corner entry. He's great through the center.
Stay Stay right there.
But I am holding him down for all I'm worth on corner exit. Because I feel like we're entering that part of the run where these guys are just going to start blowing by us. And that's not what I want. So I'm trying to hold them off as best I can. And we're only 15 laps in. That is not a good sign.
Got one inside.
Trying to figure out ways to get this thing rotated on corner entry.
Clear inside.
Oh, hello. Yep, that was a good one. Got it rotated on exit. Oh, yeah, this thing is...
Outside.
The right rear tire is not fond of me right now.
Stay on the bottom. Stay low. Keep low.
Yeah, we are fighting this thing for all we're worth. Alright, so we are back to, what, about 14th, 15th, something like that, whenever everything gets reset, maybe. So we'll see. Still trying to arc this thing in there on corner entry, but boy, it is just, I'm losing so much speed doing it. Driving it in straight isn't helping either. So, trying to figure out maybe dragging the brake a little bit. Anything to try to get this thing rotated on corner entry. Because momentum is everything here. There's really no opportunity to be out of the gas very much at all and still keep up. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to minimize. Alright, there we go. Dragging the brake does help some, but I don't know that it's going to be enough. Trying to hold off Bubba Wallace behind us. He's just looking for an opportunity to get past us right now. Trying to keep this thing from getting loose, because of course that scrubs off speed as well. Then we've got, oh, looks like we got the 19. Boy, what a run he got down the front stretch.
Still there. Clear.
Down this bottom lane, see if it'll help me turn. Yeah, it did. But it's just so little momentum down there. Trying to just lightly tap the brake. Oh, just so loose. Man.
Got one outside. Keep to the bottom.
I'm not even so much worried about wrecking the car as I am just losing all the momentum and what you see right now.
Keep to the bottom. Good stop.
Oh, there we go. There we go. We got down through the bottom that time. It was tricky, but I like it. If we can make it work, I'm for it. I don't care how it works, just as long as it works. So yeah, just trying to learn on the fly here what I can do with the throttle, the brake, and so forth to maximize our speed. Because we're definitely at that point in the run, as we're so used to seeing where these guys are coming back for us. We are losing momentum. These guys are maintaining their speed. They're just not dropping off. Oh, just that exit of 4, for some reason I cannot figure out how to get through that corner without scrubbing off all of my speed. So we got about 10 laps to go.
Inside. Stay high.
Easy there, 23. I'm still here too.
Still there.
But I must say, it is so much more fun to drive a loose race car than it is a tight one.
Clear. Inside. Still there.
Just trying to feather that throttle as best I can.
Inside.
But it is painful to see guys passing me. So very painful. So now I have to say, okay, can we maintain that top 15? I don't think so, because I believe Bubba Wallace might be challenging us for 15th, or maybe even behind that. We might even have lost top 15 already.
Clear.
But top 20, I mean, we got to keep the top 20, surely. Just small adjustments on that steering wheel, trying to keep from having to counter steer and scrubbing speed as much as possible. Sometimes it works, other times, well, not so much. Well, I really drove it down in there that time. And it worked, but we didn't keep the momentum we needed. So now we're under fire from Kurt Busch.
Inside. Still there.
Oh, Kurt Busch right there next to me on my door. Of course, that's not going to help him out. He's going to lose all the air off his right side. So we'll get to drive right back by him. Yeah, that was not a good corner for him, nor was it fun, I'm sure. Sawing at the wheel, trying to get this thing to behave. That was a decent corner, but you can see they're still coming after us, but that was a decent corner for us.
Got one inside.
I just have to slow down more on corner entry than I want to. It's just that simple.
Clear inside.
I would prefer not to. I would prefer to carry a lot more speed, but it's just not reasonable. All right, I want to keep the draft to that 23. So I'm trying to keep him.
5 laps to go.
Oh, we got somebody stopped down.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Okay.
Single file.
I was going to say, I saw that.
Catch down 14, Tom.
Wow. Don't know who that was, but they were just stopped right along the start-finish line. So here we go. We've got a caution flag. And I don't know. Are we going to go back green? Here, caution laps should count. If I thought we were going to go back green, I would duck in and get tires. No idea where our pit box is, but it doesn't really matter, because I can't imagine there's going to be very many that do that from the AI, but who knows? I could be wrong. So with caution laps counting, are we going to have enough time to go back green? That is the question. I must say, I'm pretty happy with where we are as far as the position on the track. I mean, we're just inside the top 15.
Pit road is now open.
All right, so what are we going to do here? Now, we're setting the relative performance from the spreadsheet aside, because we know what that's going to do to us. We're just going to have fun in these races. That's the idea here. We're going to have fun. Pit lane is open, and we're coming. Nobody else is coming. We're coming. I don't care. I don't know what pit lane speed is. Ah, 55. I like it.
Pit box in 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
Ooh. Anybody? All right, there we go. It came up on me a little bit quicker than I was anticipating. But you guys still got plenty of room. Make it happen. Make up for your driver.
That's it, go.
All right, there we go. So who's on pit lane? It looked like I saw the 47 and the 10. There's a few others. Who else came in? I can't really see the 6, and I couldn't tell who the other was. Maybe the 7? Possibly?
Jet stop 34, John.
So obviously we're going to be at the back for this. I'm not sure how far back, but more or less the back. And so there are two questions here. Number one, of course, is are we even going to go back to green at all? And the other question is, if we happen to, how many spots can we make up? But either way, this is going to be fun if we get back to green, because we got the fresh tires and all of these guys in front of us do not. I'm assuming the other guys who were on pit lane, maybe one, maybe two of them came in for tires. The rest probably came in to fix some damage. The pit strategy on this particular car set, I changed it to 0, which means random.
Time by. Line up on the inside. 2 to go.
We're lining up on the inside line, which can be good or bad. We might just wide this thing up, trying to make some passes here at the end and having some fun. But if we do, well, I guess we just will. Because we're going to try to make up some spots here. We know because of the relative performance that we're probably going to get a finish of dead last, but we're not thinking about that right now. This is all about having fun when we're running the races. And right now we're in 25th. To get back to where we were, we need to gain about 10 spots. I feel like that is very doable, even in just one lap, because these guys are probably going to get pretty crazy, and I'm going to jump in there and go crazy with them. 3 wide is good. 4 wide, not sure. Not sure. So it looks like we're going to get 1 lap in here at the end of the race. Boy, I wish we could have gotten maybe 3 or 4 laps here at the end. I think we could have gotten all the way to the front maybe in 4 laps. But what can we do in 1? What can we do in a single lap? Oh boy.
Get ready, going green.
Going green. Here we go. Let the chaos commence.
Pace car's leaving.
Now these guys do not
One more lap
respect.
to go.
Yeah, these guys do not
Green,
respect
green.
the rules about changing lanes before the green.
Got one outside.
You can see there, they just don't.
Inside, still there.
And that's okay.
Here's on top. Here's the middle, 3 wide. Got one inside, still there.
All right, 34. I'm gonna need you to get going because I'm hammered to the floor right here.
Stay right there. 3 wide, you're the meat. Outside, still there. You're in the middle, 3 wide.
Oh, make it happen. Make it happen.
Clear outside, still there. You're in the middle, 3 wide. You're on the bottom, 3 wide. Got one outside, still there.
Oh, 45.
Slow. You're on the bottom,
I had to
3
brake.
wide. Got one outside, still there. 3 wide, you're on the bottom.
Oh, what do we got? Coming to the
Hold your line.
checkered
Outside,
flag.
still there.
We come in.
Keep to the bottom.
What do we get?
There's a flag. It's over.
Was it 13th? Is that what we
we'll
got?
get them next time.
All right, I'm trying to let it sort out and finally figure out where it thinks we finished, but it looks like 13th position, which oddly enough is exactly where we were or thereabouts before we pitted. But let me just tell you, I would take that outcome every time over not pitting and just sort of playing it safe. Woo, that was fun. Now, we had more momentum there, but Kurt Busch kind of blocked our path on the bottom going into 3. I had to drag the brake a little bit, broke our momentum. But man, that was a fun last lap. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show today as much as I did. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and stick around for more here at Knee Pit Gaming.